I don't know why these guys continue to platform Charleston White. Now, I know that Charleston White says some positive things sometimes, but he also says some horrible things under the guise of being in character, right? He says that I'm in character when I talk this way. Y'all like the rappers. Y'all, and he's telling the truth when he says this. Y'all like to listen to the rappers. They say all kinds of stuff about doing things to women, hurting each other, the women bad bees, and y'all celebrate this stuff within the culture, right? So I'm playing the character to make money because they playing the character to make money. I get it. I get it. So, you know what I mean? But I feel like with Charleston, because he has a lot of intelligence, he could have went this far just being who he was because he was charismatic enough, right? But he went on to this podcast where he started to hold black men accountable, something that I've been doing for years, right? Talking about black male accountability. I hold the community accountable, women too. But he started holding men accountable for some of the things that we do within some of the bad behavior that we exhibit within the community. And these brothers got incensed. They were mad.
Think we need to do as a community to change that?
You need to go back and apologize to every woman you think you have hurt, whether you think you've done it or not. Apologize. That's why we can't get ahead. All I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say why I say this. I got two kids. I got two kids by one woman who I was married to. I ain't got bastard babies. So go apologize. Go apologize.
I ain't apologizing.
So have you gone to jail on your kids? Have you gone to jail on your kids? No.
I come from a household. I come from a household with no mama, no daddy, no.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the sad story. I know plenty out there. But what are your morals like? Do your children behave properly? Do they pray tonight? Do they serve your God? Because you failed as a father, as a mother. Your children don't serve your God. My son have never been arrested. My daughter ain't either. Hold on, this is not a competition. This is not a competition.
Man's 18 and a truck driver. No felonies with business accounts.
Have you ever been to jail on your children? Have you ever been to jail on your children?
I have, yeah.
I haven't.
I haven't.
I never. So hold on.
See, a lot of guys are over emotional and traumatized, and they don't know how to sit back and listen. Remember, I always tell you guys, take the emotion out of everything. Sit back and listen and let a person talk. Now, I don't like a lot of stuff that he do, but as a man, I understand what he says, and I agree with him. In order for me to be married for 26 years, raise 4 kids, and have 6 grandchildren, I had to look at George in the mirror and change me. It had to start with me. I had to first get self-love within myself. I had to first love myself before I can love anybody. That's why my hardcore watchers know I would go run my 3 miles when it's warm, and then I would do my videos because I had to go alone. I had to have a alone time with God. I had to go to God to talk and tell him to make my ways be your ways, make my thoughts be your thoughts. Change my ways, right? I had to get alone so that way I can come back and be a better father. So it started with me. I could be a better husband, a better uncle, a better brother. It started with me. So he's explaining this to these men, but they don't get it. They're not understanding what he's saying because they're taking it as an attack because some of them feel convicted. I get it. I've been through this already, right? So I understand what Charleston was saying in this sense. I can separate my dislike for Charleston at times if he's saying something correct. Right? But it wasn't over.
I haven't.
This is not a competition. I'm just asking questions because I'm a day one father. I didn't make bastard babies, for one. That's a curse that you put upon your children that the white man has nothing to do with. You curse your children having children out of wedlock. So I'm going to say this. I'm a day one daddy. My children don't know what it's like not to be in the house with their father. They was raised by me, live with me. If you ain't done that, it's hard to talk to you brothers because you're getting offensive about what I'm saying rather than receiving.
Not with me, cause
no. It ain't about what you because you still looking in the past. You just say I can't. I know.
Come down to some can't be corrected. Some bitches can't be corrected. Nigga.
Some it ain't about the. It's about what you done wrong to the. Didn't do wrong to you first.
How you know?
You showed up. You showed up based off what you
How
just
you know?
said. Based off what you just said. You just said you were with no mother.
You can't correct. You can't correct the.
This ain't got nothing to do with the. I'm talking about us, black men. Take the eyes off the. You said you showed up already with no mama. So how you gonna love her and you ain't get love from mama, which is the first teacher. Mama is the first teacher. So if you don't get love and nurture from mama, you go misuse and abuse her because you sure don't know how to use a woman, black man.
That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion.
That's your opinion.
Hey, man, I don't want to argue. Next
opinion.
question. Let's change the subject. I would book the talk. Listen, I would book the talk.
I booked you. I booked you.
A lot of podcasts make the mistake of over talking their guests because they want to be seen. Why have the guest here if you want to do all the talking? The content comes from me asking the question. Boom, get out your feelings. It's for them. It's for them. But I watch from the streets. This ain't they lane. Because you have to ask, then listen. See, you lose your advertiser. Bunch of black men done got angry. This video just lost its steam.
See, this the Charleston could be just as effective as that old whatever crap he be doing. He could be just as effective because he's 100% correct, right? This is why I always tell you guys, and I've been saying this way before Charleston, take the emotion out. Learn how to come into a room and sit down and be quiet and listen with your ears, right? Not your emotions, right? Stop wearing your heart on your sleeve. Right? Come in the room and just be able to articulate yourself without being angry, without being able to resort to violence, without being able to, when somebody say something that you don't like, all of a sudden you got to respond. No. You paid the man to come on to the show, right? So ask the question, sit back and listen. It's for the people out there, not for you you didn't pay for a debate. This is where you go wrong. Right? You guys paid him to bring him on to debate him for what? So you might as well just made a video about him instead of bringing him on the show. But this is what I'm saying. So like I said, again, and for some of y'all in the comment section, I can separate my dislike for a lot of the things that Charleston do for what he's saying right now in this video. Because I'm not emotionally attached to the foolishness that he does. Some of you may be, right? So this thing, it wasn't over.
Men can't realize that the put out what you put in her. Stop putting so much dick in her. Watch her behave properly. Give her some proper instructions. Give her some game. Show her how to heal her hurt with her mama. Don't put your hurt and her hurt together and y'all trauma bond to end up hurting one another and working against your children based on how y'all feel about each other.
But let me say something to you. You prejudge some of us.
I'm not prejudging. I don't know y'all.
Hold on,
I don't know y'all.
You stereotype some of us.
I'm not stereotype. I'm saying me.
But let me speak. Let me speak.
I don't want. See, so this is why I don't do podcasts with black men. Because you want to tit for tat me rather than moving to the next question.
I ain't tit for tat you. I'm trying to get some game.
No. You attack me by saying I prejudge. And I'm saying, homie, I don't know y'all to prejudge.
But what you said was a very prejudgmental statement about black men.
Well, because most black men are not in the homes.
Exactly. You perceived us to be those type of black men.
No.
Yeah, did.
I asked questions. I didn't perceive. I asked questions. I said, who been? Have you? I never perceived anything. I specifically asked questions because I know how to communicate in this form.
Okay, so if that is the case, you didn't give us a chance to clarify that we're not those type of men you talk about.
I never said you were. That's why I asked specifically. He said he wasn't. You said you did. Have you been in prison? Yeah. He said no. I did give you a chance.
I'm speaking to before that. When you talking about people, kids.
I never said y'all kids.
Our children
I said black men. I didn't say y'all. 73% of households. 73% of households.
Yes. You didn't say yes.
I didn't attack y'all. He took it as that. 73. I'm talking statistics without saying numbers. 73% of households are headed by a single mother. 80% of kids, father names is not on an emergency contact in school. I can keep going on, homie. So it's not y'all. I said us. As a whole.
So, again, us as a whole, because it's about changing the narrative. We don't want to keep perpetuating.
It's not about changing a narrative.
How it ain't?
It's about
you don't want it to be changed?
No. Narrative. It's about changing the man in the mirror. I didn't look at a narrative. I went in the mirror. I walked back from the mirror, fixing what I needed to fix. I became the change I wanted to see. I looked around in the house. I didn't say nothing to the kids. I started fixing what needed to be fixed. I started cleaning up. I started focusing on me. And as I got me better, my house got better.
And what I'm telling you, at the point in life that all of us are
not a narrative.
we're at that
it's about
self-improvement. From within.
We're at that page. So we're at that page. So we're on self-improvement.
I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're not.
speaking to hoe. Charleston White scary has left the building. Let him leave.
See, a lot of black men don't know how to hold conversations or articulate themselves. And you want to get a podcast, me sitting there, I would have sat there and let him speak, and I wouldn't have cut him off. And when he went the next question, I would have asked him, well, can I ask a question based off of what you said prior to? I didn't want to, and I would have told him, I didn't want to cut your wisdom while you were speaking because I know that you're speaking to the masses, but I want to elaborate a little more, or I want you to elaborate a little more on what you said, brother. Could you explain this, or could you explain that? I would have never cut him off, right? Because I'm paying him to come on, and I know that when he's speaking, they felt like he was antagonizing them. No, he was speaking in general. That's what he was doing. But guilt make you tilt. Yes, guilt makes you tilt, right? And my whole thing was, you got to learn, even when you disagree, you got to learn how to be patient. You got to learn how to be less emotional, right? And I said, well, brother, and then I said, well, can you explain this part? Because maybe I did this, or maybe I did this and I struggled with this. Could you explain this to not just me, but to the masses out there that may think like me? You guys gotta know how to talk and articulate yourself, right? Especially when you bring somebody on as a guest, right? Then we would have went on to the next question. I wouldn't have cut him off. When he was done, if I didn't understand something, I would say, Charleston, well, I'm only asking this because I don't understand maybe this part. Could you explain this part to me so that way my audience can be edified? Right? That's the way. But again, man, everybody ain't equipped to do this, man. Everybody ain't equipped to do this. And like as he said, I'm talking to the audience, not y'all. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. He storms off, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.